A friend of mine sent me an article, right? What's up, Scott Hall, rude boy on the scene and thing, you know? But he sent me an article, a psychological study of some kind that says the loneliest people are the people that are helpful, kind, and will check up on everybody. That's the loneliest people there is. It seems like when you're that way, nobody checks up on you. Like, I try to be a kind person. You don't have to say, hey, something is wrong for me to ask you if you're doing all right, if everything is okay. You don't have to say anything for me to realize that there's something wrong, something going on, so that I could talk to you. Because one thing my mother taught me was to look at people's eyes. That's when you're going to know whether stuff is going on with them. Listen, if you look at somebody's eyes, it will tell you if they're sick, if they're having a hard time, if they're tired. The eyes will say it. People could smile all they want. The eyes gonna tell you. So I always look at people's eyes, you know, and I could go, oh, something is wrong. Are you okay? Are you tired? And, you know, well, how do you know? People always say they know something is going on. I haven't told anybody. And then your eyes tell the story, you know what I mean? You can't hide it with the eyes. So I'm like that. And I'm always kind. Like I would just like message people and said, hey, is everything good with you? Are you doing all right? Is something, you know, what's up, you know? Or even if I see them on Facebook or somewhere and they put something up and they seem like they're depressed or something is going on, hey, are you doing okay? Is everything good? I do that. But I noticed that nobody does that with me. Oh no. Even if I some kind of depressed on Facebook, you know, which I don't usually, but if I put up something that bothers me, nobody messages me to find out if I'm okay because I say 98% of the times I'm smiling, you know, and I'm going through life because how I deal with stuff is I deal with it. It is what it is. Let's deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really the freak out type. As a matter of fact, when I was married, my ex-wife would say, "You never freak out about anything." Well, if you freak out about stuff, then your your response to what's freaking you out is going to be muddied, and you probably wouldn't make a logical decision. You know what I mean? And not to mention my past too. You know the stuff I've been through and all of that. You know, hey, I survived by being calm and logical about how to survive certain things. But the article says that, and it's an absolute fact. There's just no two ways about it. If you are calm and you're collected in situations, people look to you for that calm and collected atmosphere. They don't see you as somebody who would need help. And if you smile a lot and you always try to make people laugh or you always try to make people feel better, they don't check on you because they think you're okay because that's what you do. It's like they put you in a lane in a box, and that's who you are. I'll give you a perfect example of that. Okay, I remember back when Robin Williams was still around. We was watching. I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was David Letterman or whoever it was interviewing him. And my ex says, "Oh my, I like him. He's always happy. You know, look how happy he is all the time." I said, "He's not happy. Look at his eyes. The eyes is saying the same. It's just quiet back there. You know what I mean?" And she's like, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about." What was the end result of that? My man was not happy, but because he's smiling all the time and he's making people laugh all the time, everybody think he's okay. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? And after he was gone, here people said he was always calling people and checking up on them and checking up on them. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you are a nice person, people don't check on you, and it's a mixture of things. Okay, it's a mixture of things. It's like, for one, they think if you're nice, you're gonna break down, and then they're gonna have to do the consoling because people don't like to console people. I don't care what you say, they just don't. And I'm talking about everyday stuff. I'm not talking about like a close friend would, family members might, But generally speaking, if you're in a place where you're not really, really close with people, they ain't gonna check on you. They're just not. And I've been in those situations before. Like, okay, if I go to work and I'll go into work and I'm quiet, the whole place is quiet. If I go in there and I'm happy most of the times when I do like that, everybody's in a good mood. Usually, if I go in there and I'm quiet because I'm out of my lane, nobody asks, "Are you okay?" Nobody asks that. They just stay away. And it's not like I'm mean or they know I'm not mean. They know I'm not going to snap at them because they know me. But still, they don't check on you. They just don't. That's just the way the culture is. And the thing about it is too is the one I said that they think if because you're nice you're weak anyway. So then you're gonna just be a total basket case if they check on you, and the idea of what they have in the head of you is gonna get blown to pieces because you're not supposed to be like that. You're supposed to be nice. It's supposed to make me happy. I'm not supposed to console you. And the other one too is if they consider you nice and kind, that's boring to them. There's no drama there to what I mean, and it all laps over into people into the dating game too. If you're nice, they think you're weak, you're boring, or in my case, I'm not weak, and I don't think people see me as weak. They just see me as nice and strong, so they don't have to worry about me. I got it all under control. Do you know how many times I hear people say, "Oh, that's just Andy. He could handle it." You know how many times I hear that? And then you come home and you're all quiet and you're all by yourself. Like the article says, nobody sees what goes on with you when you're by yourself. And it's like you're by yourself all the time because even when you're around people, they're not really paying attention to you or what's going on with you because they're looking to you to make them feel good. And it's another reason why I spend most of my time alone because, there are times, I feel a little down, but to be around people and be down, they don't want to hear that because that's not what you're supposed to be. That's why they always said, there's a saying, if you're nice, you be nice, you shouldn't expect anything back in return. That alone tells you everything. So if I'm nice to you and check up on you, I shouldn't expect that you return the same vibe. That's what you call humanity there. It's not like a reciprocation thing. It's humanity, that somebody's nice to you, you're nice to them, you check up on them, you know what I mean? But people, the biggest idiots, they'll be really nice to them. I'll give you an example, okay? I knew this one lady, and I was nice to her, you know what I mean, and all of that, There was a co-worker. Dude that's like the playboy type, this type, she was all worried that he was walking the street by himself from work. And I walked the street all the time by myself, never showed that kind of a concern about me. Never, not once. And the dude is like 6'7", healthy looking dude, muscular, he could take care of himself. You know, he could take care of himself, but she was worried about him, but she ain't gonna worry about me. Because my lane is I'm supposed to take care of them. I ain't supposed to they ain't supposed to worry about me. So that article is 100%, and my buddy that sent this to me, he's having the same issue. You know what I mean? Nobody ever checks on him. We check on each other because we know it's a humane thing to do. But nobody else checks on him. And all the people that are like, "Oh, you're such a nice person, you're always caring about people, blah, blah, blah," they never check on him. It's like he's not even there. Like he used to work with a bunch of college students, and they were mainly female college students. And they would check on a bad boy who is sleeping around with all kinds of girls. They would check on him to make sure he's okay. Oh, he's a little bit depressed because this girl did this to him. And they would check on him. But they wouldn't check on him, on my buddy. Because he's a nice guy. He's supposed to check on them. They're not supposed to check on him. And then when you're alone at home and them thoughts come into your head, You ought to fight and deal with it yourself. It's a weird thing that people don't check on good people. They just don't. And that is an absolute truth there. And I didn't know there was a psychology to go with it too. I didn't know there were studies on that, but apparently there is studies on that. So, don't just check on people that you think need to be checked on. Check on people who you think you don't need to check on. Be human. And like I'm saying, in all my rants, you're going to hear me say that. Be human, man. You know what I'm saying? The people who check on you, check on them too. And it's not a transactional thing, it's called a human thing. It's a human thing to do. That's all I got to say.